I went to Aromas this morning and I captured some video of Aromas, and that's my Zoom background.
Wow.
And now you're there. You're there. That looks. You look like you're there, Mike.
Pretty much there, except it's nighttime, so
Yeah, but look. I've stopped using the background. This is my This is the place I live in right here. This is my real life right here.
It's scary when you can't tell what's if it's real or not. It's it's like another
well,
step into
I
virtual.
purposely have just a little bit of motion. I wanted there to be, like the fern being blown a little bit by the wind. You can see the fern being blown every now and then.
So the fern is not
And
real?
the fern is part of the Aroma's backyard.
Yeah, Roy, it's all real, dude. It's all real.
I'm I'm sorry. I honestly thought the fern was real.
It
And
is
then you had a
real.
background. No, I mean it's as if it's there, not
It's not
on
it's not here
not
live.
background.
It's not here live. So if I were going to show you my green screen, I'll just remove my virtual background and you'll see it's just me.
Oh
It's
my
just you.
gosh.
There you go. It's just you, Mike.
It's just me. It's just me. But now
You're amazing, dude. You're like a magician of these things.
it's a little magical. Yeah. And you have that nice moon thing going on in the back. I
Yeah.
love that thing.
I like
So yeah, I mean, all these things are possible. It depends on how fancy you want to be and how much you want to dispel the image of you being in a different place. And my lighting's not perfect, but I could probably adjust the lighting so that, and you can do lots of fun things in Zoom with your video settings. I'm going to share my screen just so you can kind of see what it is that I'm messing around with. So I can go into my video settings in Zoom and I can really start to adjust. So like I can touch up my appearance or not. So now my appearance is not touched up, so you can see all my wrinkles. But now I touch up my appearance and I look like a love interest on Star Trek. I can adjust it for low light or not. And now I like the way that looks. That kind of makes me look like I'm more in the place. And I've got two lights here, one on either side, so that I can adjust them as I need to. So if I dim this light completely, you'll see, it's kind of too much. So I'm going to just light one, maybe two, and then I'll let everything kind of settle. And then I've got a circle light, whatever you call those dome lights. I can turn that off. I can turn it on. I can minimize the brightness of it. And that's kind of like what Troy was talking about last week, with being able to bring things in and out. I don't have that luxury of being able to have everything on a boom. I just don't have a setup like that. But what I do have is I have dimmers on my lights. So it's nighttime out here. So I really need to adjust my lights to the way that I like it. And now it kind of looks like I'm blending into that background, or at least it looks like I'm being lit, but that the background is real behind me. And I've just got enough motion in the background and I have it on a loop. So all those things are really kind of cool to be able to do. We have another minute before we get started, so I just wanted to kind of show you a little bit of magic. I also have these options. I've got HD option on my particular camera. I can toggle that on and off depending on how fast my processor is. So if I toggle it off, now now I have to go ahead and set my background again. And I'll go ahead and just click on my background. So you'll see it doesn't look I'm not as stark in the foreground. So it actually plays with your eyes a little bit. So it really looks even more like I'm in the picture somehow for me. Because now the background is kind of like a little fuzzy. I'm a little bit fuzzy, so you can't really tell. But you have to just kind of work with what you have. I'm going to go ahead and turn my HD filter on. And because, it makes me smaller when I have VHD on, so I'm like not right in. So you can play around with all these different things. You can create any kind of backdrops you want. So backgrounds and filters, I've got a zillion backgrounds. I could be in front of Godzilla. I could be in front of, this beautiful stained glass window in Mexico City. Some people like Alice like this thing, but this is so overdone that oh, this is a Zoom background. So not to say that that's not great, Alice. I have to bring it up just a notch. So then I have the background, and it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell where I am. Right. Barbette's looking good with that background. Barbette, do you have a green screen?
No, I don't. That's just my computer.
That's pretty good. That is pretty good. And Jeff's got a good green screen. That's a really great, messy office backdrop you have there, Jeff.
You're on mute.
Sad
Jeff.
to say, that is my actual.
Oh,
office.
that's your actual office. Sorry.
Yes.
Jeff, are you
If I
talking
move
about-
too much and I'm buried in stuff, consider contacting campus police.
Okay, it was very convincing.
We went out and got a green screen today.
What's that?
We went out and got a green screen today, a curtain with the big rivets.
Oh, nice.
So it just pulls across.
So
Haven't had a
once you
chance
do
to
have
set
a
it up.
green screen, remember, you only get the benefit of a green screen if, when you're in
Right.
Zoom, you go and you select green screen. So if I go to choose virtual background, you got to choose I have a green screen, because if you don't, then it's going to do its best. But now, like, I disappear, and you can
Right.
see all
We
the
just
stuff.
got it. We haven't put it together yet.
Right. No, I'm just saying, for those of you who are lucky enough to have a green screen, you might want to just make sure to give it that little extra thing. Otherwise, you never get the benefits of the green screen. So I figured that this week we're going to start out. Roy is going to show us something super cool. You think that this is cool? We have available to every faculty member. We've got a light board in the SWEM Reader studio, thanks to Troy and his team, and Roy, and I think Pablo helped put this thing together, but it's available to any faculty member. Just come and contact us. And Roy's going to show us what that can do in a moment. And then I figure what we'll do is we'll go through some really basic editing. Now, you can use any editing program that you like. What I'm going to show you today is called OpenShot Video Editor. And I sent out the link to everyone last week. I'll send it out again if you haven't gotten it this week. But this is going to be really basic. What you're going to be able to do is you're going to record your video either on Zoom or on Screencast-O-Matic or something like that. You're going to pull your video in. You're going to be able to do some cuts. You're going to be able to do some transitions. You're going to be able to take other images and titles and music and put those all together and make something nice. And I'm going to show you how to do that. But this is just scratching the surface. If you have an individual project, all of us, Troy, Roy, and I, are all available for anything that you might want as far as fine tuning, as far as I have this special thing on location that I want to do. I want to do a drone shot. I don't know about drone shots. You'll have to supply the drone, I think. But how does that sound to everyone? Good? Okay. And we'll hopefully have time for questions. If there's no time for questions, if you have questions during, please just call them out. So without further ado, Roy, you've got about 5 minutes of video to show everyone the, I'm going to stop my share.
Yes.
And you've got about a 5-minute video to show people what the light board looks like.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Okay. So this is one of Mike's best tutorial performances. You haven't seen it yet?
I am
Oh my God.
trusting you on this, Roy.
Well, there is a longer version available next week.
Good luck.
But for now, this is the 5-minute version. And I'm going to share. Can everybody see?
Yes.
Okay. And here it features Pablo Yanez as the host and Mike Plume as the guest. Here we go.
Hi, I'm Pablo Yanez. I'm a program manager at Steely,
And today I'm going to be showing you how to use the new Steely light board that we have set up in SWEM Library. So this is a technology that will allow you to do annotation writing as you lecture in a very natural way. It's something that you would do in your regular classrooms in front of a whiteboard or a blackboard. But the great thing about this is that it allows you not to block what you're writing. So to get you started on doing this, I'm going to have a guest person come on here, Mike Bloom, also from Steely, and we're going to be taking him through how to do a recording here. Now, don't worry, the first time that you set up to do a recording with a light board, you will make a consult with one of us, and we will walk you through how to do this. It's very simple, and then after the initial consult, you should be able to do this on your own.
It's kind of simple.
It's pretty simple. Okay? So let's get started. So, Mike, when you come in to use the light board, when you walk into the studio, come in with the lights turned on, and then the first thing you're going to do is you're going to hit this button on this white puck right here.
So there's this white hockey puck looking thing. You ever watch the hockey games with Pete the Puck? So I'm going to hit on. Okay, let me hit on.
Okay. Now, once you've hit on,
Oh, wait.
this is going to turn on both the light board, the lights for you, the lights for the light board, the confidence monitors, and
I see things
everything
going
that
on.
you're going to need to record is now turned on and ready to go. The other important component of the light board is these monitors and the camera that is in between the monitors. This camera is what is going to be recording you for video. For audio, there's a boom microphone on top of the light board that's going to be capturing your audio. The bottom screen is really the one that you need to worry about for what we talked about today. This is a confidence monitor, and it's going to be showing you what is being recorded. So what you'll see on this monitor in the bottom is what you are doing on the light board. And that's it. You don't need to turn on any of these devices. They all got turned on when you hit the puck power. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do, Mike, nice bright yellow.
So I have yellow here. I have a few different colors. I've got yellow, I've got pink, I've got orange, I've got blue, and I've got green. So that's nice. And so now what will I draw? That's a good question. I'll draw a giraffe. Let's see if I can make a giraffe. I probably will make a terrible giraffe. Those legs that bend like this in the back, and then they bend like that in the front, I believe. And then there he is. He's tripping over a little rock there.
So Mike, my recommendation is when you're working on the light board, if I'm right-handed, I want to try to use this area for my illustrations. And as a matter of fact, I would probably start here and then work my way out here.
So I'm left-handed, so I want to start from this side and go this way.
Yep. Mike, now that you're done with your talk,
I'm done
and
with
your
my
recording,
talk.
the first thing you want to do before you clean up the board, which you should do for the next person, is you're going to hit that record button again until the blue light goes off. It's just for a second or so.
So can you see the blue button? If I'm going to push it, I'll try to. So I'm going to hit the blue button.
There, and let go.
It's not going on.
Let go.
Oh, okay. Now it went off. So I held on to it for like 5 seconds. It didn't matter.
So yes, once that light is flashing and you're no longer recording, you can pull that thumb drive out.
Okay, I'm going to pull it out gently. So now I put this in my laptop, if I have a USB thing.
Yes, you're going to copy over the MP4s.
I copy over the MP4s. All right, so then I leave it right there, because otherwise the next person is not going to have anything to record.
When you are done, you're going to want to go back here. It's going to be a little dark, so it's going to be tough to see. But you're going to turn on the room lights first.
Oh, so it's this hockey puck again.
Right. But first you're going to turn on the room lights.
So do I hit off?
Well, wait for
Oh, I turn the room lights on, so I walk over and turn.
You don't want to kill yourself.
And then I hit off.
And then you're going to hit off. And
Off
that's
is
going to
right
turn
there.
off
I didn't mean to
everything.
show you my middle finger. I apologize for that. And off.
Nice, thank you, Roy. So Sound quality could use some improvement on
No,
this,
I know.
but no.
It's not a
It was
problem.
good.
I get it.
That was a really rough cut. So if people have a use for that, contact us. And now we're going to sort of jump right in. Questions about the Lightboard first before we kind of jump into OpenShot Video Editor? Let's do that. Let's jump into OpenShot Video Editor. So I'm going to share my screen. And here I am. I've got OpenShot Video Editor up, and hopefully everyone has either been able to install it or they know where to get it. I'm going to start from scratch. So I'm going to start with a completely new project. I was messing around with this one. All right. So a few things about OpenShot Video Editor. The thing that you're going to want to know is kind of the layout of OpenShot Video Editor. So there are a few different views that I suggest. If I go up to the view up on the top left, you'll see that there is a simple view, which just has the right-hand side. The left-hand side is going to have all of your project content, your video files, your audio files, your images, your titles, all those kinds of things. The right-hand side is going to have the video, and you can watch that video. And the bottom is going to have your tracks, and you have any number of tracks that you can actually use. It starts you off with 5 tracks, but you can have more than 5 tracks. If you notice, I've also got between each of these tiles, I've got these ellipses, and I can grab that. When I see an arrow facing in either direction, I can grab that and I can make one larger and one smaller. I can make the tracks larger or smaller as I need to, and I can move those around as I need to, right? So that's the simple view, or whatever the basic view, simple view. That's simple view, and that's great for simple stuff. Then there's an advanced view. And if I go to advanced view, there's a couple more options. So if I click on advanced view, and you can toggle back between simple view and advanced view as you need. I'll go to advanced view, and you'll notice in advanced view, I have this effects bar that pops up that is going to be important for us at a certain point. And it's got all the different effects that you can do in OpenShot Video Editor, the ones that are built into OpenShot Video Editor. It's also got a bar on the side here, all the way on the left, that's going to be properties. And I'll show you how to use properties. Properties are going to be important for everything that we're going to be importing into our tracks. Okay, so this is the basic layout. I'm going to leave it in the advanced view right now, and we'll start very simply by importing a video. I've recorded this video in Zoom, and now I want to import it into OpenShot Video Editor. So let's start with that. I'm in my project files area, and if I can either hit the plus button up here to import files, or I can just right click inside this box, inside the project files box, and then I can import files. So I'll click on import files, and I've got some files right here that we're gonna just import in this video production files folder that I created. So I'm gonna scroll down, and I'm gonna start with my sample video. It's an MP4 file. You can do an MOV file. I believe you can do AVI files. Give it a try. If things don't import, we can work with you on getting them to import correctly. And I'll say open. Okay, so now you'll notice nothing appeared. I have it, you notice how I have show all, video, audio, and image. I had image highlighted so that nothing was actually showing up here. So I'll go to show all so I can see everything, and I'm gonna make some more space for my files. You notice how I can drag my effects window lower because I don't need so many effects showing. So here's my sample video. And now if I want to bring that into my project, I just drag it and I pop it into my project. And now it's ready for me to watch. So if you notice right here, I've got a little play button in my video preview window at the bottom, and I'll hit play. And let me make sure that I've got it optimized for video clip and for sound. Okay, great. So you should be able to hear it. Hey, it's Mike here. Today I'm coming to you live from the backyard of Aromas. Actually, it's not the backyard of aromas. It's a little bit of magic. I've got a video that I took of aroma. Okay, so I've imported that. Hopefully you can hear it. If you can't hear it, just shout out and say we can't hear it. But I'll take it for granted that you can hear it. So what's the first thing that we want to do with this? Let's say the first thing I wanted to do is I wanted to import a slide, and I wanted that slide to appear in the corner of my screen. Okay, so first thing I want to do is, let's say I have a PowerPoint that I want to create into JPEGs so that I can import my JPEGs into my video. So I've got a PowerPoint open right here. It's the brief history of animation PowerPoint that I created. And to turn a PowerPoint into a group of JPEGs, it's very easy. All I do is I'm going to go to File and Export. And then I'm going to choose, instead of PDF, I'm going to choose JPEG. And it's going to ask if I want to save every slide or only the current slide. And then I can create a new folder if I want, and I'll call this slides, create, and then I'll export. And now they'll all export as JPEGs. So then I can import whichever ones I like into my video production. So let's go ahead and do that now. I'll do the same thing to import. I'll right click on import and I'll say import files. And I've got all of these slides. So let me see. I'm going to take a look at what slide number 12 is. That's the Flintstones. I'll import the Flintstones. That's fine. So I'll say open. And now it's going to ask me this weird question. Would you like to import slide 12.jpg as an image sequence? You don't want to. If you import it as an image sequence, it's not going to import correctly. So I want to say no. So I've chosen no, and now it's only a JPEG. And I can take a look and I can see, okay, yes, that's an image, it's a JPEG. I clicked on the images tab. And let's say I wanted to now put this into my video. I can drag that and I can decide exactly where I want it to go. And now you'll notice there it is, it's up over my image, which, you know, might be good, it might be bad, I don't know, but I don't want it to be there. I want it to be in the corner. So let's talk about how to do that. Now you'll notice on my timeline, everything that I select, when I select an object, it turns red. Can you see that? So I've got my sample video, MP4 is now red because I selected it. My slide is now red because I selected it. Anytime I want to have an effect on a slide, I want to make sure on a track, I want to make sure that my my cursor here is all the way at the front. If it's somewhere in the middle, then it's going to do this weird thing where it's going to be one way from the beginning to this middle point, and then it'll do like this slow drag. I'll show you what I mean. So let's say that I was here and I accidentally shrunk it when I was here, where you see my slide, the red line is in the middle of my slide, right? So now if I want to shrink it, let's see, I've got in my properties area, I've got this scale X and scale Y. And if I wanted to really fine tune it, I can just grab it and I can shrink it down, and I'm just clicking and dragging. And then that's like a 0.5. I can type it in if I want to, if I don't want to drag it. So let's say I wanted to click on it and I wanted to say 0.5. And now I wanted to scale Y also to 0.5 so that it's square. Right? So now it's in the middle of my face and I don't want it there. So I can change my location. So I have an XY location. So I have an XY scale and an XY location. And now I'm just going to drag it. And I can really fine tune it this way. And I'm going to bring it. And now it looks like I'm a newscaster and I'm talking about that thing. So that is how you would. Now, the thing is, remember what I said about making sure you know where this thing was. You notice how I did it in the middle of my slide. Look what happens. I'm going to play my video and you'll see what has happened. Back of Aroma's backyard. And I went ahead and I made that the background on my video. It's going to scroll. It's going to scale to that thing. So what I want to make sure, and if I do that, it's not the end of the world. What I can do is I can just start again. But if I don't want to start again, let me zoom in here. The other thing I want to show you is you see this bar here, this blue bar. This is going to shrink and increase the amount of time my scale has. So as I pull it to the left, you'll notice my track 1 extends way past the right, because now I'm talking in increments of 1 second, 19 seconds, 20 seconds, 21 seconds, 22 seconds. As I drag it to the right, you'll notice now it goes from 20 seconds, 40 seconds, 1 minute, 1 minute and 20 seconds. And I like to do that just to make sure that when I need fine tuning, I have it. And when I need macro tuning, I have that. So you'll notice in this slide number 12 that I have here, there's a little red dot. There's a little red marker. That's where that change actually took place. And now if you'll take a look at my properties area, take a look very carefully at how my location X and my location Y and my scale X and my scale Y, as I drag this to the left, starts to change, because that's what it was doing, right? So let's say I did that and I made a mistake and I'm like, I don't want to redo that. So very easy. I'm going to right click on my image and I'm going to slice, and I only want to keep the right side. So now that's gone. But let's say I wanted it to be longer. Well, you have an option. You have two options. First of all, if I hover over the left-hand side of my slide and I drag it, it's going to bring back that same weirdness, right? So I don't want to do it on the left-hand side. Instead, let me drag it over here. I want to drag it from the right-hand side. And now I can drag it as much as I want on the right-hand side. So that's a nice way, if you've made a mistake and you've got it looking weird, delete the left-hand side and just stretch out the right-hand side. Now we can watch it.
The backyard of Aroma.
And then it just pops up.
It's a little bit of magic. I've got a video that I took of Aroma.
Okay, so let me stop my share. Everyone got that? Was that very complicated? It's all being recorded, so you can watch it again. So what we basically did is we imported a video, and I took a slide and I popped that slide in, and I can move the slide wherever I want based on my location X, my location Y, my scale X, and my scale Y, right? So I'm going to share again. Any questions before let me check the chat. Yes, it is better than the Windows stuff. Questions, comments, terror. Okay, so that's how you add an image. Let's see how you would go ahead and put a fade into an image, right? So I'm going to share my screen again, and I don't want that image to just pop up. I want there to be a nice fade, right? So here I am, I've got my image, it's going to pop up.
Aroma's backyard. And
that's too abrupt for me. So there's the wonder of the right click that I showed you before. A right click in OpenShot Video Editor and in almost every program. If you don't have a right click, what is it? A control click or a command click? I think if you're on the Mac, it's a command click. If you're on the Windows machine, it's a control click. Play around until you get that right click. So I'm going to right click on my the object that's highlighted in red. And look at all of these options I have. Lots of nice options. One of the options I have is a fade. And I'm going to fade the start of the clip. I'm going to fade it in fast. And then I'm going to right click again. I'm going to fade at the end of clip. I'm going to fade it out fast. And now if you notice, I've got these little hash marks again, one at the end and one at the beginning, which you can't see because it's covered up by Fred Flintstone's picture. But let's take a look at now what happens when I play it.
And I went ahead and I made that.
So Fred Flintstone comes in nice and slow.
On my Zoom video. So you can do all kinds of tricks like that if you'd like to have kind of a moving video behind you.
And then Fred Flintstone's going to go out nice and slow. So I can add as many as I want. I can add as many tracks as I want. If I wanted to add another image, I can do that. So I'm going to import another file really quickly. I'll import slide, what's slide 11? that's not cool. Ooh, a praxinoscope. Let's see. That's a cool. Let's do the phenakistoscope. So I'm going to import the phenakistoscope. I'll say open. And remember, would I like to import the slide 3 as an image sequence? No. I'm going to say no. And then there it is. And I can grab that and I can put it on top of that last slide. And what happens when it's on top, it's very much like when you have a cell animation. Whatever's on top is going to show on top of what was underneath. But now I have this phenakistoscope that's gigantic. So I want it to be the same size as the first one. I can cheat a little bit. I can select the slide 12 and I can check out my numbers. So location X is 0.29, location Y is 0.20, scale X is 50, scale Y is 50, 29, 20, 50, 50. So I'll do the same thing here. So I think it was minus 29. I don't remember. Probably not. It's probably 0.29 because now it's totally off the screen. I'm terrible with numbers. And now I'll say scale 50 and scale 50. Now, why am I not seeing it? Because my cursor is over slide number 12. So if I want to see it, oh, see, I put it in the wrong place. But that actually looks cool. I might want it there. But now I can say, how did I make that mistake? I'll click on, it's minus 29 and minus 20. So I'll go back to my slide 3 and I'll change it to minus 29 and minus 20. And I'll hit enter. And then there it is. And you'll notice now when I play it. Tricks like that if you'd like to have kind of a moving video behind you. See what happened? Because I didn't do it right. So remember what I'll do? I will, well, first I'll just crop it. I'll right click on it. I'll say slice. I'll say keep the right side. See, I'm always bad at my own advice. And then I'll just drag that a little bit more on the left-hand side, on the right-hand side rather. I crop the left-hand side, I keep the right-hand side. And what did I do? I right-clicked, I said, okay, I'm going to fade it. Start of clip, I'm gonna do a fast fade in. End of clip, I'm gonna do a fast fade out, right? So now let's take a look at it. And you can do all kinds of tricks like that if you'd like to have kind of a moving video. Nice. It makes it look kind of nice and it changes up the pace a little bit. So I'm going to take this video. So there you go. So that's how you add any kind of images that you want, put them anywhere that you want. It takes a little practice, but I guarantee you it will, once you take like an hour's worth of practice to do this, you'll always know how to do it. And it's super easy to do. And there are other softwares that you can use that make this easier to do. I'm just doing this one because it's free and it's easy to do. And it's cross-platform. Camtasia is a little bit easier to do if you've got money and you want to spend the money. Camtasia is my favorite tool, but this is kind of, you know, the video editor for the masses. So Barbette had a good question, apparently. Is there a what you see is what you get video editor that lets you drag? Yes, and that is called Camtasia. However, it costs money. Yeah. Camtasia will let you just drag those images around. Actually, I think you can do the same thing with OpenShot Video Editor. Let me go ahead and kind of, I've been playing around with that and I'm just going to share my screen again. It doesn't work great, but I think it does work sometimes. So like, let me see if I right click on it and I hit transform, maybe? No, let me see. Oh, you know what? If I hit shift, no. If I hit command, no. I don't know. I don't think it's going to work. Get Camtasia if you want to do that. So here we have the images that I can place on there. Now let's say I wanted to put some music on top of that. Same thing. I've got some music. You can get free music. I've got a really nice site for free music. It's called the Free Music Archive, freemusicarchive.org. And I'll just go to it here. And let's see if I can actually find the real page. So when you go to the Free Music Archive, you'll see there's Pro Search, which costs money, and the Free Search. So I'll click on the Free Search. And then I can check my genre. So if I wanted like some old-timey historic music, I can choose that. And then I can search. And I got 920 tracks of old-timey music, and I can test them out, see which ones I like. Okay, that's kind of cool. So if I want that, all I need to do is download it. I hit download. I say, I understand and agree. And I didn't have to log in or anything like that. It just lets me download it. And now I have this MP3 file, right? So let's import this MP3 file. So I'm going to go, I don't have to go to my audio area in OpenShot Video Editor, but I can. And I'm going to right click again, and I'm going to say import file. I'm going to import my file, and I'll go to, I think it's in my downloads. And there's that Laughing Love MP3, and I'll say open. So there it is. And now I want to drag this again into my, not going all the way to the beginning. Come on. For some reason, it's not coming all the way to the start. I don't like that. I think it's making me into a liar here. But I'm going to delete it, and I'm going to try again. All right, I'm going to move my cursor over here. I'm going to right click, and I'm going to say add to timeline. Okay, so now when I say add to timeline, I get a bunch of options. I can say, this gives me more options than just dragging it. So I can say what the start time was. So I can start it at 0 seconds. And let's say I want it to be 10 seconds long. I can do that. And I'll say, okay. So it actually made it for the whole thing. But now let me play it. Hey, it's Mike here. Today I'm coming to you live from the backyard. Okay, but it's taking over where I'm talking, so I want that to be an intro, right? So I can take my video and I can drag it so that it doesn't start at the very beginning. And I can take this other video, the audio rather, and you notice how I'm dragging my tracks up so I can see them better. And I can drag this over here, and I'm going to say, okay, I want to cut it right about here. And I'm going to right click, and I will say slice, and I'll keep the left side. Now you notice that whole audio disappears. So then I can play it, and I can take a listen to it. But now it's annoying because it plays at the same volume all the way through, and I don't want it to. I want it to fade out at the end. So let's do that. I'll right click again on my MP3, and look, I've got fade. Actually, I have volume, and I can say end of clip, and I want it to fade out slow. Now it's going to fade out before I start talking. Hey, it's Mike here. Today I'm coming. Oh, that was nice. So sometimes I get lucky. Sometimes I have to drag my video a little bit more so that it's the way I like it. But you can see I'm starting to kind of put these things together. So I've got my audio, I've got my music, I've got my video, I've got my slides. Questions so far? You can fade out the music as well. Yes. You can fade it in, you can fade it out. So if I wanted to fade it out, I mean, I showed fading it out. Fading it in works exactly the same. Let's see. Can you use an MP4 from your music library? Fair use. That's a good question. So as long as you can drag it in, you can do it. If you can't drag it in, then what you can do is you can drag it into like Audacity and use that from there, right? I like to import things into Audacity, or if I'm really crafty, I open up something like Zoom and I just hit record while I'm playing the music, and then I bring it in from there. I do that all the time. So like if I want a sound effect, that's what I do. I'll open up Zoom, I'll hit record, I'll open up YouTube, and I'll just play the sound effect that I want. And I'll make sure to capture only the computer audio, right? I don't want to capture my audio. I'll mute myself and I'll capture the computer audio. And then I'll play whatever sound effect I want. And I'll grab that MP3 file and then I'll bring that into my project. Or if I want a clip, a video clip of something, I'll do the same thing. I'll do it in, I'll play it in YouTube, I'll capture it in Zoom, and I'll drag it in. Be careful, because if you do that, you can't really put it back on YouTube, because then YouTube will catch you for fair use. So what I do is, if I'm copying something that I know is not fair use, is I will put it into Panopto, because Panopto doesn't give a crap. So if you want to put like a full-length feature movie on Panopto, not that I would ever do that, but if someone were to want to do that, they could do something like, I don't know, take a Tarkovsky film called Ivan's Childhood. That's a completely random example. I don't know who would do that. But if you wanted to play Ivan's Childhood for your entire class, and you captured it like that in Zoom, you could theoretically then post it on Panopto and play it for your students. But I wouldn't do that. I don't know anyone who would do that. All right. So we know how to import a video. We know how to fade stuff. Fade a video works the same as fading a picture, fading in, fading out. We know how to import audio, fade it in, fade it out. We know how to overlap slides so that they come in when we want them to come in. It's going to take practice. Can you download the YouTube video and add it that way? I can do it. If you have an issue and you need to do it and you can't figure out how to do it, you can contact me and we can figure that out. And Troy is sending you a link that may work. Some people have trouble with these kinds of links, and like there's always, you know, like a spy versus spy thing going on, where YouTube will put something out, somebody will manage to steal it, then YouTube will, you know, will fix it, and then somebody else will break it. So another great one is called handbrake.fr. So if I have a DVD that I want to get the content from, sometimes you can download this Handbrake, and I'll put the link in here. You can download this Handbrake software, and if you have a DVD, or if you have a VOB file, or if you have an MP4 that's too big that you want to shrink down, Handbrake is spectacular for shrinking things down and stealing and making fair use copies of DVDs. Okay, so these are all the kinds of tools that you may want to have at your disposal to bring all these things in. Titling, you may want to have a title, right? Let's talk about titling. Titling in OpenShot Video Editor is not as nice as it is in Camtasia, but hey, it's free, right? Camtasia is expensive, and if you want Camtasia, the great thing about OpenShot Video Editor, and the reason I love to teach it, it's like Camtasia, but you're wearing leg weights. And as soon as you get to Camtasia, it's like, Ty Cobb after the, off season when he was wearing those 20-pound leg weights, he takes them off and he's like, shoo, you're going to be editing stuff in like 15 minutes in Camtasia. And it would have taken you like an hour to do in OpenShot Video Editor. But I like OpenShot Video Editor to really like show me that I understand what's going on in my video editing. So let's go ahead and do titles in OpenShot Video Editor. And it's also cross-platform. That's another thing I love about it. So I want a title. I want to put my name over here as I'm talking, right? So let's do that. You see, I've got this little title button at the top. I go to title, and I can have an animated title, but I'm not that fancy. So I'm just going to choose a regular title. And then this window is going to open with all of these title options. There's just too many damn options. So I'm going to choose this easy one, this gold bottom, right? And it says the title. And that's it. I'm going to hit save. And now if I go to show all, you'll notice I slide down and there's that title file name 1 SVG. Man, that is ugly looking. But I'm going to drag that. I'm going to put it right into my video right here. And now you'll notice it says the title. And if I watch it, with Mike here. Today I'm coming to you live. It shows the title, but it's gold and it doesn't show up on my video very easily. So let's go ahead and fix that. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to right click up on top in the project file area. Once I've dragged it into the timeline, I can't do anything with it on the timeline. I have to edit it, the titles in my project files area. So I'm going to right click on it. Right click is your best friend. And I'm going to edit the title. I'll say edit title. And now look, I'm going to change the text color from gold to black. And I'll say okay. And I could change the font if I want from whatever that was to Lotto. Let's do Lotto and let's do like 18 point. And I'll say okay. And I'll say okay. And now I'll say save. And now you'll notice, now it's different. Coming to you live now it's black. But it says the title. I don't want it to say the title. I want it to say my name. So I'll right click on the project file again and I'll say edit title and see where it says the title on line 1. I'm going to say Mike Bloom and I'll say save. And the nice thing is it doesn't do that weird thing where it fades back from the title to Mike Bloom because I'm fixing it up in the project file. I'm not fixing it on the timeline. Today I'm coming to you. And there it is, Mike Bloom. And same thing, you notice how Mike Bloom just popped in. I don't want Mike Bloom to just pop in. I'll right click and I'll say fade, start of clip, fade in fast, right click, fade, end of clip, fade out fast. And now I've got a nice fade in and a fade out on my title. Today I'm coming to you live from the backyard of Aromas. Actually, it's not the backyard of Aromas. So now you know pretty much everything that you need to know to do your video production as simply as possible. You have all of the tools that you need. The rest of it is mainly practicing. Now, I'm going to stop my share and I want everyone, can William and Mary get a site license for Camtasia? Here's what you can do. We have a free version of Camtasia in Morton Hall 19 that you are free to use if you contact me, and we will book you a time so that you can play around with Camtasia to your heart's delight. The Studio for Teaching and Learning Innovation has our own personal copies that I can't live without mine. Roy refuses to use one because he's too much of an aficionado, so he uses fancy stuff. But most of the people who are just nebbishes in the video editing world use Camtasia. I can show you how easy it is in Camtasia, what I just did here when we make an appointment together, but you know all the basics. What I showed you here is exactly the same concepts that you will do in Camtasia. They're all the same skills, but it's just a little bit more fluid.
And Mike, also too, every computer in the Reader Media Center has Camtasia on it.
Sweet.
Studio computers, workstation computers. So yeah, just saying.
That's great. And I'm sure that Troy or his team would love to get together with you to show you some of the ins and outs of Camtasia. I'm happy to do that. Roy won't do it because Roy doesn't know Camtasia, but he'll show you how to use Final Cut or
Adobe Premiere.
Definitely. Right. Camtasia is my favorite tool, but this is how you can use it in the privacy of your own home. So like if you're up at night at midnight and you're like, oh shit, I got to do some video editing. You don't have to go to the Reader Media Center. You don't have to spend $250 for a license for Camtasia. You can just do this if you have something really simple. Did I go over how to fuse 2 Panopto videos together, replace a segment and or insert a segment to fix a gaffe in an earlier session? I can go over that. So when you say Panopto videos, do you mean like it already exists in Panopto? Because what I would do is I would download the Panopto video. and I would put it in something like Camtasia or OpenShot Video Editor, and I would do the splicing like what I have here, and I'll just show you how easy that is to do. I'll share my screen again. So I've got this video, this mic video here, and I'm just going to grab another video. And let's say I wanted to cut out the piece that I didn't like. What's going on here? I think I might have broken my, there it is. So let's say I wanted to cut out part of this. I'm just going to drag it here and I'll cut out a bit of it. And let's say that I wanted to crop it together with this other, it's the same video, but shh, don't tell anyone. And I've got it here. And so now if I'm going to watch it, it'll look all choppy. It'll look kind of nice. And see how there's like a break there? So let's say I didn't want there to be a break. I could do a few things. I could grab this, I can put it over the top of that other one, and I can right click on it and I can say fade, and I'll say fade in slow or fade in fast, probably fade in fast. Let's change that. Fade in fast. And that, oops, I'm going to just remove everything. So now if you screwed everything up, you can just go ahead and say no fade, and now everything's gone. And now I'm going to try that again. Fade, start of clip, fade in fast. And now you notice how it's going to fade in before that other clip is finished. So now let me watch it. It makes it look kind of nice. And it's a little choppy because I haven't posted it to MP4, but it does a nice fade, and then you don't have to worry about it. I can chop this up as much as I want. So like if I want to get rid of the middle part, I'd right click here and I'd say slice, keep both sides. I'd come over here. I'd say slice, keep both sides. And now I can take this piece, delete it. I can put these two together. And that's all I need to do. And now I can play it. And you see, and sometimes it makes a nice chop and you don't have to bother with any sort of a fade in or out, but that's how you cut stuff out of the middle. If I'm in Panopto and I just want to do easy stuff in Panopto, that's easy to do too. Let me show you that. Because some people don't want to edit in OpenShot Video Editor. They just want to go to Panopto and they want to take the beginning out of their video, panopto.wm.edu. But they want to take the middle out of their video, and they, or they want to take the students' questions out of their video. And we could do that too. So let's go ahead and show you how to do that, because we might as well. And so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to my folder here, and I'm going to go to, what do I have here? Got some Steely mic. Do I have anything in there? No, of course not. No, I don't have anything in there. Let me find stuff that I have. Okay, so I got some videos. So let's say I've got Jenny Taylor and I want to cut some stuff out of hers. Very easy to do. I'm going to go to edit. And, oh crap. Okay, I'm not going to wait around for that to work. I'll find an actual like video that I can edit. All right, let's go to Nothing in Russian 250. Let's go to, here we go. So here's a video that I made, and I'm going to click on edit. So here I am. And if I want to crop the beginning out, you notice how there's nothing at the very beginning. Watch, I can just grab this bar. You notice how there's now two arrows and now it's gray over here. Now I cut out the beginning. And let's say I wanted to cut out this middle part over here. I just grab, same thing. I drag it, I cut out the middle part. And let's say I want to cut out the end. I grab and I drag and I cut out the end part. I don't have to do anything else. All I need to do is hit apply. It's non-destructive, so I can go in and I can make that available again. I haven't cut anything out. I've just merely skipped over those parts. So that's a really, thank you for that question, Debbie. That's the super simple edit for people who don't want any of this nonsense. So there you go. That's my little tip of the day, of the evening. That's what I do with videos that I don't want to bring into OpenShot. Everything is not going to be a production. Sometimes I just want to cut the beginning out of a damn video. right? That's how you do it. Thanks for the question, Debbie. Other questions? I see here how to edit track 1. Is that still, did I not show you how to edit track 1? I can show you specifics on how to edit track 1. What do you want to know on how to edit track 1?
You just showed us how to do it, taking out parts.
Yep, same idea. Cut them out, stitch them back together like Frankenstein monster. Other questions? Easy, not as easy as Camtasia. Let me show you Camtasia in the last 10 minutes since I've been talking about it. Am I still sharing my screen? I'm not. Did I share my screen before when I was showing you Panopto? I did. Good. Because that would have been silly. I'm talking about Panopto and not sharing my screen. All right, so here's Camtasia. The one, the only. I'm going to go ahead and start a new project in Camtasia. So here's Camtasia. Look familiar? It should. It looks pretty much exactly like OpenShot Video Editor. But now, here's the trick. I can record directly in Camtasia if I want. So I hit the record button, and now I'm sharing my screen and I'm sharing my video feed. So I don't have to pull things in from somewhere else. I'm just recording directly in Camtasia. That's bonus number 1. Bonus number 2, I'm going to import media. And I'm going to go to that desktop where I have my video production files. And I'm going to go ahead and import a sample video, an MP3, a couple of slides, and import. So now they're all imported. And now I just start dragging, same way as I did in OpenShot Video Editor. Hey, it's Mike here. Today I'm coming, but now watch this. I've got these cool buttons up at the top. I've got this crop button and I've got this move button. Let's say I wanted to crop myself so I don't see so much. I hit crop and I have these crop marks, and then I can grab it and I can just crop it. Not as easy to do in OpenShot Video Editor. And now I'll click on the arrow, and let's say I want that to be full screen. I can right click on it, scale, scale to fit. Lots more options. That's too big for me. But now I'm going to drag some slides down. So I've got a slide, I'm going to drag it down. And now watch this. Instead of doing all that weirdness, I can just do that with it, right? And I can move it where I want. I can hit properties. I can check out my properties over here. I can make that, I can do the same kinds of things. I right click. I can do stuff like, well, you know what? The one thing is the right click in Camtasia is not as nice because what you need to do for lots of the other things is you have all these effects here. So if I wanted to create a transition, I'd go to transitions and then I'd go to fade and I'd drag a fade on top of that clip. And now you notice how I've got a fade at the beginning and a fade at the end. And let's watch that. Today I'm coming to you live from the backyard of Aromas. Actually, it's not the backyard of, right? So it's a little different, but it's the same. It's a very similar concept. It's a little bit fancier, but the cropping works the same. So I can hit the little right click. I can say cut. Oops, I cut the whole damn thing. Let me undo that. That's not how I usually cut it. I usually cut it with this little split bar here. So I must have hit the wrong button. Is there a split? Split at playhead. So I'll split it at the playhead. I'll click over here. Oops. I'll split that at the playhead. I'll remove that. And then I'll bump these guys together. So as you can see, they're very similar. Oh, what's going on?
Two different folders automatically.
It's playing somewhere where I don't know where it's playing.
Two folders. And then if that in turn will then
I'm just going to close all of this stuff. Oh, there it is.
Two different black folders.
I don't know where it's playing. kind of freaking me out. All right, so that is it. $170. That's not bad. $170, best $170 you'll ever spend if you're doing video editing. Roy disagrees. He hates Camtasia. Roy, why are you a hater?
No, I don't hate Camtasia. I see its value. I just, yeah, I'd rather go with, Final Cut.
Yes, if you are Orson Welles, you should definitely go with If you're Joe Schmo, I've tried to learn Final Cut 100 times. I can't do it. I know I'm really good at software. I know software. I can't figure out Final Cut. I hate it. I'm proud to say that I hate it. Questions? Comments? It's been a real pleasure to get to share this stuff with you. I hope you learned something. I hope that if you haven't learned something, you at least had a little bit of fun. And if you want Final Cut, if you want Adobe Premiere, go for it. Don't say I didn't warn you. Talk to Troy, talk to Roy. They will teach you how to use it. See, now you're not so keen on teaching them how to use it, right, Roy?
There are plenty of good tutorials on YouTube.
There are. But I'll let Troy. See, Troy is muted. He doesn't want to talk. He wants to pretend like he's talking.
Sorry. Yep. I will teach anyone how to use Final Cut Pro, Logic Pro, Main Stage, Motion. For $200, you get like all that software forever.
Yep.
So it's not like it's not a subscription. For $200, you get all that software forever, and it's great.
That's a great deal. But like I said, I can't learn it.
Yeah, you can.
I'm not sure my computer would even run it.
It would. I think so.
You think it would?
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to learn Premiere and Final Cut. What do you prefer, Premiere or Final Cut Pro, Troy?
It's a 50-50 thing for me. What I tell students is that, if you're going to spend $200 on a textbook, all right, why not spend $200 on this thing that you will have forever? Because Apple doesn't charge you anymore. Once you buy it for $200, you got it forever. Adobe, you have to spend
But every
month, yeah.
So good. I mean, I kid a lot. I understand the value of the high end stuff.
It's not high end, dude. It's really basic.
Okay, I understand the value of the really basic video editors. I'm too dumb to. And they're totally right. I kid about Final Cut and about Adobe Premiere, but absolutely, if you need more than this, if you need more than Camtasia, if it's not doing what it is that you need it to do, absolutely, those are much better products for really detailed work. For if you want to do color correction, if you want to do really complicated fades and make them easy, if you want to do great titling, if you want to do lots of cool bringing lots of videos in, on top of each other. Great. It's really great stuff. I just don't have a need for it for my tutorial videos. So that's why, I kid, but I understand if I were making a video that I actually wanted to show off, I probably wouldn't use Camtasia. That said, let me make a pitch for next week. We're not on next week for video production. I'm doing an entirely new class. We're going to be doing Google G Suite for collaboration. And what I'm going to be doing is taking people through the entire Google G Suite from Google Drive to Google Sites so that you'll create your own Google site. So we're going to start on Google Drive, show everyone how to use Google Drive to share things with their students, share things with their colleagues. we have a Google Drive that you have all of the information. You have unlimited space in your Google Drive, and take it from there. Show you how to incorporate things like Google Docs, Google Slides, Google Sheets, Google Jamboard, which is a really wonderful tool for thinking and collaborative thinking. And then by the end, we're going to talk about making a Google site and a Google website where we can incorporate videos, we can incorporate images, we can make all of that stuff and share it with our colleagues, with our students. And it's just a lot of fun. And it's one of those transformative things for your class. If you really want your students to learn collaboration, and if you want to really be better at collaboration, it's going to be another class of another series of 3 classes. If you haven't signed up, I'll be sending the link with our final wrap-up email that I'll send out with this, as well as all of the other links that we talked about. Anyway, it's been great. Thank you, Troy and Roy, for putting up with my bad mouthing of the awesome software, which I agree is great.
Got it.
But you guys have been terrific. Thanks for everything. And as I said, any questions that anyone has, Troy's happy to help. Roy's happy to help. I'm happy to help. So just reach out to any of us, and have a great weekend.
Hey, Mike, where are the recorded video sessions located?
So I'm going to create a website with all 3, and I'll be sending out the website, a microsite, for all 3 sessions, as well as all the videos. So I'm going to send out that email. Right now, the only way that you can get to them is in the email that I send out on a weekly basis. But
Okay.
Tomorrow, if I have a chance, I'm going to take all those from Panopto and I'll move them into YouTube, and I'll put them into the Google site and send you all the link to that as well.
Okay, fantastic.
All right, folks. Great seeing
Thank
everyone
you.
again.
All right. Bye-bye,
Thank you.
everybody. Thanks a lot.
So long.